Okay, so we're going to start lying down on our backs, on our mats to warm up the body. Let's give ourselves a lovely big stretch to start off with, stretching fingers and toes apart, taking some nice deep full breaths in as if you've just woken up and you're yawning and stretching. And then again, a deep breath in. Soften and relax, stretch on the breath in. And bring your right knee up, pull it into your chest and just stretch the left side. So we're focusing on bringing your inhalation into the bottom of the rib cage down here, and especially into the back of your lung. And see if you can drift fingers and toes over to the right side of your mat. So we give our whole side body a good stretch. And actually massage your top foot around. So this is my right foot. Nice big circles, one direction, other direction. Good, and then come into the center with both knees. Give your pelvis a little massage, rocking from side to side, like so. Inner thighs, adductors, noticing how they're feeling. And let's drop that right foot onto the ground, bring the left knee up slightly, slide that foot away, slide the fingers up above your head. Breathe in deeply to open the rib cage on that right side, focusing your attention into the bottom of the lung, and then see if you can drift fingers and toes over to the left. Whole fascial system stretch. Very good. Come back. Let's do some nice big mobilizing circles with the knees, getting into the hip joints. So the big rotator muscles around those hips, they feed into the pelvic floor as well. So nice kind of lubricating movement, one direction and then the other direction. Beautiful, and let's just hold these knees apart, forearms on the inside of the knees, and let's massage both feet around. I think I forgot to do the other side. So both feet, one direction, other direction. Spread your toes. We want to make sure that our feet stay nice and mobile and strong. That's the way. Good, and then feet up towards the ceiling, knees down, grabbing hold of wherever you can reach. If you can hook fingers onto your feet, do that. Shoulders need to stay relaxed into the ground though. I'm just going to massage across the spine. So rocking from one side to the other. I like to imagine if you were a parachutist and you're pulling on one string and then the other string to float your way down to the ground. Now wriggle your jaw, your lower jaw, trying to relax your pelvic floor as much as possible. Notice if there's any kind of tension around, especially around the anus. Beautiful, and then we're just going to pump those heels away from us, spread the toes, pump, 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 and then press the heels, press the heels, press the heels away from you, pull the toes towards you. Push the back of the pelvis into your mat, rub the back of your legs. These hamstrings, they attach just above the knees and then down by your bum. You can do some bum work, so we just want to make sure that they get woken up here. Turn the toes out and put your heels towards each other. Rub the outside of your legs. We're going to be working into this area as well. Bums and side of the legs. Ooh, beautiful. And then let's do our shaking the arms, shake the legs, getting the fascial rinse. Shake it, shake it, shake it, rinse it, rinse it, rinse it. Very good. Now a little bit more into the hip flexes. Jiggle, 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 drop. Nice wide feet, toes forward. arms out like a tree. Drop the knees to one side. I'm going to my left. And we're focusing on the inside of the right knee as it drops down. And then spread the knees as you come up and over to the other side. Focusing on the inside of that left knee here. Up and over. Good, up and over. Just do this a few more times. You want to really get the whole of the pelvic area mobilized. Blood flowing into all these key muscles before we start to squeeze them. Wonderful. And I thought we'd give ourselves a nice twist through the belly too. So bring your knees up, shift your bottom to the right, drop your knees to the left. Now, if your knees don't come all the way down to the ground without pinching your back, grab your bolster, place it underneath your knees. Or you can just try putting your feet a little bit further away from you and turning your face to look in the opposite direction. Now we're going to do a couple of sumping actions. I call it sumping to work through the intestines, help digestion. We know that constipation is the #1 driver of incontinence. So pelvic floor lift, and then all of your deep core muscles, transverse abdominal muscles, multifidus muscles, squeezing in towards your spine and then zipping upwards, and then let it go. So pelvic floor, deep core, squeeze and zip, and then release. So sumping, release. So we want to get the blood flowing as we release into this whole stomach area. Sump and sump. And then relax those muscles. Let's drift over to the other side slowly. Just move your bum to the left. Enjoying that lovely mobilization of the spine, goes into all the nerves of the body, wakes up the body. And then let's do the sumping here. So pelvic floor zipping up, release. Pelvic floor zipping up, release. Pelvic floor zipping up, release. Do this another few times. Breathe out as you zip up. And then just relax your belly here. Good. Come back into the center. You might need to just bring your knees into your chest for a moment. Rock from side to side. Okay, so when we are purposefully using our breath to help us to open the diaphragm, open the pelvic floor muscles, and then activate them, what we want to visualize is on our inhale, the breath is coming down into your pelvis and your sitting bones are widening. So it feels like your whole pelvic floor is receiving the breath. So let's take a couple of breaths where we're really focusing on the inhale, feeling like expansion. And then we're going to do some activation breath out, chin is in, so there's a slight constriction on the back of the throat. And as we breathe out, just a gentle, nothing too major right now, a gentle activation, pelvic floor, up through the cervix towards your tummy button. Yeah, so a little lift, and then it's an inhale and it feels like it's all expanding. You can visualize the corners of that diamond pulling outwards, the sitting bones. And then breathing out, little activation. Breathing in, really focusing on the breath in, because this is the bit that most people don't get. And it's honestly just as important. Honestly, I would say more important to be able to lengthen these muscles at this stage for most people than the activation side, because we can kind of, you can get the activation quite quickly, but a lot of people are just holding tension, and there's not the lengthen. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing, but we're going to add more of the activation now. So breathing in, You might even let your knees drop out a tiny bit. Breathing out, activation, then push your heels into the ground and bring your bum up off the ground a little bit so we can get those guys activated as well. And then releasing down and soften. Pelvic floor, push the heels into the ground, lift up. And then inhale, soften. Breathe out, activate, push, lift. And inhale down. Okay. Don't think about it too much, just breathe out, push through your heels. Your diaphragm will be working with your pelvic diaphragm now. So breathing out and lift. And in, down, out, up, in, down. Breathe out, push up, breathe in, release. Good. Okay, let's do that, but add either a brick or your blanket between your knees. So we're squeezing a bit more as we come up, and we're also getting these adductor muscles, inner thigh muscles working as well. So either a rolled blanket or a brick between your knees. Same action, breath out, activate, push your heels into the ground. Now also push a little bit into your thighs into your prop. And then release down, and you almost let go of your prop with your knees softening. So breathing out, squeeze and lift, and breathing in to soften. Getting these glutes working a bit more now, getting the inner thighs working. They go right up into the pelvic floor muscles, and then we're also activating into the deep transverse abdominals and the multifidi at the back and down. Good. Now, if this one is, you're still coordinating all the bits, I want you to stay with this. If you're like, yeah, got that, that's not that hard, I've done this before. I want you to take that away. We're doing the same action, making it a bit harder though, by taking the feet wide on the mat. So as wide as the mat. Same action, breathing out, pushing through the heels, but this time we squeeze the knees and the thighs together. So it's a much more of a big clam shut. Release and inhale to come down. Breathing out and squeeze the knees and release down. Okay, breathe out, squeeze those knees and come down. And if you've got this and you're like, okay, I've got it, I can feel my adductors here, I can feel my bum, I can get that pelvic floor lift just a fraction of a second before we go. Then let's start pulsing. We get up here and we just go pulse, 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 and then come down and release. And we come up and go breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, and a nice deep breath and release. And breathe in. And breathe in, one more. And breathing in, good, okay. Bring those feet back towards each other. So now we're going to activate pelvic floor. It's zipping up through your lower belly, yeah? So even without me moving anything else, internally, I've got all of those pelvic floor muscles working, not squeezing your bum now, not squeezing your inner thighs. All the way up, zip, 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 zip. And then we want our external muscles, those recti muscles, to come towards each other. So I'm going to get you to do this with your hands, like slide your hands across the outside of your tummy towards the seam here, the rectus, the seam in the middle of the rectus, the linea alba here. And then at the end of your breath out, just lift your head. Yeah, so the breath has gone out and you just lift your head off. And you come back down, you breathe in and you relax. So it's a breath out, zip, 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 zip. Head is up. And then breathe in. Okay, breathe in, breathe out, pelvic floor, zip, 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 zip. And breathe in. Sometimes with people with quite extended diastasis recti, I keep doing this while I'm talking, I get them to take their blanket. So if you're watching this later and you have got a more pronounced diastasis recti, which is the splitting of those tummy muscles, I find that if you take a blanket underneath you, I'll just take my top off too so you can see me better. If you take a blanket underneath you, you can wrap it almost like a corset around you like that. And then it's a little bit easier sometimes than just using your hands to breathe out, activate, and then use the blanket coming across you to get that feeling of your recti muscles coming towards each other. So if we've got any doming, any like puckering upwards of the tummy, when we do any sit-ups or planking, we need to be doing this. So it has to start pelvic floor, deep core muscles, they need to strengthen first. If you don't do those first, the recti muscles will continue to split apart. You'll end up with hernia, lower back pain, that kind of stuff. So pelvic floor, deep core activation. Then the external muscles come together as you lift your head and release down. Let's do 3 more. Pelvic floor, zipping up, tummy, and lift. And down. So pelvic floor, zipping up, deep core, and lift. Breathing in, pelvic floor, deep core, exhale, exhale, exhale. And down, good. Okay, so little bit more now. So feet up, hands just above the knees. So this, just holding this, you've got to have this switched on, yeah? I want you to make sure pelvic floor is also active. You're not just sort of floppy, dropping down here and then pushing your tummy down. You are zip, like that. Okay, first of all, hands above the knees, gentle pressure of knees into hands, just to make sure you have got that pelvic floor and your lower abdominals, your lower transverse abdominal muscles, that switched on and lifting. Little puppy breaths out. Good, release that. Let's just put our feet down for a moment, flop the knees out. Take a breath. So if you're doing it right, it's quite strong, yeah? Okay, let's go back again. Pelvic floor, zip, 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 zip. Lift the knees. Okay, so now try to keep your knees on top of your pelvis. We're just going to control by dipping one toe and then the other. So it stays switched on, but keep puffing your breath out, especially as you lift your foot. Now the back of my rib cage is plugging into the ground. Still have a tiny, tiny little gap through the lumbar, the lower back, but back of the rib cage is not lifted. I find sometimes it's good to keep arms up. If you're doing this with a weight, you might even hold a weight here. Beautiful. Let those legs go up, arms go up, give it all a shake. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Woo. Okay, we're just, before we come on to tums for bums, we're just going to do a little bit of sideways, obliques here. So arms out like a tree. Now I'm going to give you a couple of options. Start off, first of all, pelvic floor zipping, lower belly zipping, and just tilting your knees to one side slightly. Yeah, so I'm slightly on my left hip. Now you know a bell curve. Imagine a bell curve, and as you breathe out, you pull your knees up to the top of the bell curve, and then over to the other side. And there's a little bit of a release, but not much, to be fair. And then you breathe out again, up to the top of the bell curve, and over to the other side. Breathing out. Breathing out. Breathing out. So almost like you're going up one side of the rib cage, up and over to the other side of the rib cage. Now, if you are working deep into your corsetory muscles, pelvic floor, and then corsetory, this is quite hard just as it is. If you want to challenge by pushing your feet out at the end, then go for it. And then back, and then push, and then back. that hurts your lower back at all, come back to. Okay, couple more. Beautiful. Massage around one direction, both knees together, and then the other side. Like so. Alrighty, switched everything on. Good massage. Give your belly a little massage here. And then we're going to come onto tummies. And I'm just going to get you to stretch out those deep transverse abdominal muscles. Forearms on your mat. Pull your elbows down towards your feet as you let your chest draw forward. And you feel that stretch through your deep tummy muscles. And go to one side of the tummy, so just look over your right shoulder, stretch your left side in particular. And then come into the center and the other side, so stretching that right side as you look over your left shoulder. Beautiful. So we know that the extensor muscles of the back, which is part of your core system, they are just as important to keep these guys strong as the front and your pelvic floor and your diaphragm, all working together. So let's work on the little muscles around the spine. Start off by taking your hands by your shoulders, elbows in like a cricket. So really close in, tops of the feet pushing into the ground so that you suck your knees slightly off the ground. And we'll step out of the way so you can see me a bit better. There we go. All right. Okay, so deep breath in to fill the lungs. As your lungs fill, imagine you're like one of those hot air balloons just lifting off the ground slightly, and then the air leaves your lungs and you drop back down. So breathing in deeply, activate the muscles around your spine, lifting up and then lifting down. It's a smallish movement, but we're really isometrically, we're contracting those muscles, those skeletal muscles, to get our skeleton to move. That's it. Keep going, 2 more. This is really good for your posture. Very good. Okay, let's lift and roll the shoulders so they sit in the back of the sockets. Okay, massage, massage, massage. See if you can get the upper back muscles feeling like they are switching on. And then leave them both in the back of the sockets and put your hands on your bum. And I'm just going to get you to squeeze one glute and then the other, gluteus maximus. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze so that we are swimming, kicking, swimming. Try lifting your tummy button slightly off the ground. Little sensation like you're stopping yourself weeing, yeah, so that we have got that deeper core activation happening, supporting our lower back. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Good. You might even come up into Shalabhasana, taking the arms out to the side, maybe even thumbs up, so we can activate those muscles between the shoulders. Or hands here, that might feel a bit better. If you're here and you're like, yeah, no worries, then make it even harder. Thumbs up, hands in front of you, shoulders away from ears. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Back muscles, working postural muscles, activation through your bum and your hamstrings, and then let it all go. Forehead, hands under forehead, and toes and heels out, and just rock your hips from side to side. So you want to let all of those muscles jiggle, 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 release, 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 release. Ah. Good. Okay. Whilst we're here, in crocodile pose, toes and heels out, I'm going to get you to just work on what we need to do if you have arrived in your driveway and you don't need the loo particularly, but you know as soon as you get to the front door, your bladder's going to suddenly need to go to the toilet. We want to think ahead. So what we would need to do is relax the muscles of the detrusor muscles of the bladder. So where your lower belly is pressing into the ground right now, use your visualization and your breathing just to be really relaxed in your lower belly, really super relaxed. Bladder is relaxed, detrusor muscles are relaxed. Whilst they are relaxed, the urethra sphincter, so the hose, is closed, well, at least it should be. So whilst your tummy is all relaxed, we're just going to do a couple of quick flicks, so closing the hose. So keep your belly relaxed and just focus on the external sphincter of your urethra, so you're stopping yourself weeing, lifting it up a little bit, releasing it. Stopping yourself weeing, lifting it up a little bit, releasing it. Stop yourself weeing and release. Do a few more of those. Quick flick up, release. 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 Keep your belly soft, keep your belly soft, keep your belly soft. And just say, I am in control. I am in control. Belly relaxed, pelvic floor closed. Closed the hose. Good. All right. Push yourself back, extended child pose, stretching out those sitting bones, stretching out the pelvic floor. Armpits are off the, armpits are stretching, wrists are off the mat. Very good. Whew. Okay. We'll just do a little circle to release the hips. Hands nice and wide. You might need to massage the wrists for a moment here. Hands nice and wide, knees together, hips right around in a big circle. We want to get that draping sensation as we let the pelvis drop from one side to the other. This is a really good one. If you've been doing a lot of sitting, traveling, as soon as you get to your destination, you want to massage out your hips. So big circles. One direction, other direction. You might need a blanket under your knees, Knees are like, not happy. Patch them. Big circles. Alrighty. Who is ready for a little bit more tum? Linda's like, yes, me. Other Linda. All right. Let's, eyelashes and eyes. Let's get on to our bolster. Either brick or your rolled blanket in between your knees, or, that's what I'm going to do, put my blanket inside, I'm going to put my brick inside my blanket, so it's not quite so sore to put between the knees. I've got an eyelash in my eye. Alrighty, so we are going to do this one. Knees are on your bolster. So the reason I'm bringing the knees up is because when we come forward, either like this or on our forearms, our pelvis is higher, so our organs are dropping away from the pelvic floor. So our bladder in particular is dropping back against the pubic bone in the lower belly, which is where it should be. That's where it should be all the time. And we are doing a slight squeeze in on our brick or blanket or both, so that we can go activation through the inner thighs into the pelvic floor, and that's just going to help us get a stronger activation through this lower belly area as well. Also a good bit of useful weight bearing onto those wrists. Alrighty, so back here, toes tucked, stretch the soles of the feet, pelvic floor released, nice big breath in, coming down here between the sitting bones, everything's widening. Breathing out with your puppy breath, slight squeeze in on your prop as you come forward, and we're zipping up. Lower belly, right up towards your rib cage. Everything is scooping and lifting. And then dropping back. If the wrists are not happy, come onto your forearms. Same action, like so. You can see it better with it, actually. When I'm doing this, you can see the scoop a bit better. And then back. Breathing out. Scoop and lift, squeeze your knees. And back. Breathing out. And back. Hold. And back. If you are planking for any other classes, do this, breathe out, come forward, and then come into your plank. Don't just come straight into planks. Do it from your extended child first. So you can know that we don't have intra-abdominal pressure going downwards. Instead, we're using our breath and our pelvic floor to core activation to bring that intra-abdominal pressure upwards. This is what we need to train so that when we're sneezing, coughing, jumping, we're able to activate pelvic floor and lift the pressure rather than let it push down. So, sorry, I got a bit carried away then. Just, you don't need to be coming to a plank. Stay, this one's good. And back, one more. Very good, very good, very good. Let's just take that away for a moment. We've activated our bum, our back, our core. We're going to just put it all together with a balance. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees together. Take a breath. You want your back to be perfectly straight. So in order to do that, you need your rib cage drawn back. So there's no dipping here. And we want to do a little lift through the lower belly. So all of this is switched on, simply being here in this tabletop. So we're not doing cat-cow right now, we're just doing tabletop. Squeeze your knees together, activate pelvic floor. Take your left foot out behind you, squeeze your left bum. We want to have that leg as high as the pelvis. Okay, keep breathing out, little puffy breaths out. Now see if you can lift your right hand off your mat, thumb up, little finger down. Keep breathing, looking at the mat. Hip bones want to be looking at the mat. Very good. Come down, squeeze those knees together. Stick your right foot out behind you, squeeze your bum, and then send the left hand out in front of you. So the idea is that we have got a tray of champagne flutes on our back, and we're walking the champagne flutes around the room, and we can't let a drop spill. So you've got to have your back as absolutely straight as possible. Keep breathing, focusing, activating. Woo. Beautiful. Come down. Now take those knees apart. Just let your bum go back. Elbows onto your mat. Hands up towards the ceiling, palms together, and just let your body drape here. Chest draping down, inner thighs stretching. I like to add in toes out, heels in. Toes out, heels in just draws the sitting bones a little bit wider. So we're just going to total release. Forehead on the ground. If you can reach your forehead to the ground, try to do that, because the pressure on that third eye point is super relaxing. Relax jaw, relax the pelvic floor. See if you can slide those knees a little bit further apart, tiny bit further apart. Tiny bit further apart, and softening your jaw, softening your mind. Very good. Oh, coming up onto hands and knees again. Tail is up, and then tail under, just a gentle cat-cow. Tail is up, sitting bones are spreading, tail is under. Massage the movement right up your spine now, rippling through the spine to the top of your head. Breathing in and then breathing out. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Now, slow breath in, tuck the toes. As you take your slow breath out, we slowly launch ourselves into downward dog. So lifting those sitting bones, spreading them, roll shoulders away from ears, press the heels down one at a time. And then I'm going to get you to do your little jiggy dance with your feet, walking from one side of your mat to the other, massaging into the ankles, and then drop the knees across the midline of the body so we go into the hips. Want to get the hamstrings, want to get the outer thighs, right up into those sitting bones, pelvic floor. Give your head a shake. Oh, drop both heels. Give your whole body a glorious stretch. Downward facing dog, whole body stretch. And we're going to drop our knees to the ground. If you need a blanket underneath knees, please take that. Slide your hands up your thighs. Oh, give your arms a big, what's happened to my hair here? We've got big backward swimming, mobilize. And then we're going to take the heels of the hands onto the back of the pelvis, fingers down, tuck your toes, press your knees into the ground, lift your heart, draw your elbows towards each other. We want to do sippy breaths up through the heart and out to the shoulders, like a T shape. And press those knees down, lift and spread the heart. Keep holding your pelvis. We just want to extend the spine. This is great recalibration for our posture. Opening, stretching, all of the squeezing we've been doing. Now, imagine you have a string attached to the very crown of your head, and that string is being lifted up towards the ceiling. So we lengthen upwards, bring the chin in, draw the base of the ribcage back. Take a moment, and just come and settle yourself down into a kneeling position, just feeling the length of your spine here. Nice length here, beautiful. If you've got your bolster close by, you might even just slide that underneath your pelvis, so you're coming into a seated kneeling position, like so. And just taking a moment here to feel the length of your spine, the activation of our core muscles, slight. So you're not pulling, you're not doing anything, but when we're in alignment, you feel all of these muscles just slightly switched on. Yes, they are always working slightly. Shoulders away from your ears. Your jaw be loose now. Good. Give yourself a fluid lateral stretch. Reminding yourself to breathe down here. Focus on breathing throughout your day today. Down and out as if you're a fish. Breathing into your gills. Beautiful. Giving yourself a Sukhasana twist, or just a gentle seated twist. That's it. And then a deep breath in. Spreading your fingers out and up. Hold the top of the breath. Let it go. A bit of noise. We'll do that again. Deep breath in. Pulling the breath into the back of the nostrils. Let it go. And one more. Very good. Again, just come and sit. Close the eyes for a moment. Feel the tingling just underneath the skin surface. Feel the air on your skin. The container of these 50 or so trillion cells, the condensed energy of these cells that make up this physical vessel of yours. Noticing
the slight expansion and contraction of this vessel as the breath is just drawn into your body and pushed out of your body by your diaphragm, by the intercostal muscles between your ribs. See if you can notice a very subtle receiving of the breath in the pelvic area, the releasing of the breath. Mentally saying to your body, your vessel, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we just take the palms of the hands together and bring the two hemispheres of the brain together. Bring the hands into the heart center. You're just acknowledging yourself for coming and showing up on the mat today. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.